Welcome, listeners, to the Wednesday Night Crew podcast, Eberron Adventures. Set in the world of Eberron, the podcast follows 6 unique adventurers on their journey of intrigue, challenges, fame, fortune, and heroism. This is a special single-character one-shot episode for Lissa Fernwillow. As you recall, Lissa left the group to go hang out with her Uncle Z shortly after her mom died. Let's find out what happened and listen to this, a very special episode of Eberron Adventures. So let's call this a Eberron Adventures character one-shot mini-sode. Let's try that kind of vibe, right? So idea is that I would imagine this will probably take about an hour or so to go through.
Right.
So this is just going to be myself and Lissa for this mini adventure, and we're going to talk about, Lissa, your experience and what you're going to be doing with your Uncle Z, because he got you. He could sense that you needed some companionship, albeit reluctantly.
Mm-hmm.
And he just decided, gonna go get my niece and get her the hell out of there, and we're gonna hang out and spend some quality time together and try to help her, not necessarily forget, but at least,
Right.
be around family that she wants to be around.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I've been brushing up on my anime protagonists, going off on their side adventure and coping with their loss. I'm all brushed up on that.
Sweet. All right. So we're just what we're gonna do is so this specific session is going to be titled "Building a Better Bigwing." It's been a really nice 4-day weekend, spending time with Uncle Zedekiah. You're enjoying quality time with him, learning a lot about his skills as an artificer / wizard. You've been spending the majority of your days and nights in his lab, and I'm going to show you a picture of what his lab looks like, because you'll be spending a good amount of time in here through the duration of this little session that we have.
Awesome.
So let me pull this up, and
oh yeah.
So the first, I think it's fine that our faces are on the side because of the screen, because it really doesn't matter too much for the sake of argument of this session. So so this is his lab. It's essentially give it a little description for those that would be hearing this and not seeing it. So it's essentially 2 floors, right? Really, the main floor is where all the action is. There is a mezzanine level up above that's got some storage. It's got a couple work tables with some fun and excitement going on. But the action really takes place on the main floor, where there's a good amount of, like, a lot of times there's glowing, not glowing, glowing, not glowing, little, like, circles of power, if you will, on the paved floor of the lab. And there is a very small, modest bedroom that he has been having you sleep in, while he just then sleeps on the floor in his lab, because he wants you to be comfortable. And you can see there's been multiple, like, little storage spaces that are on the northern side of the lab, with different things like chests and baubles and tools of the trade, and tools maybe not of the trade, because it's Uncle Z, and he just has a lot of junk, right? So I think the easiest way he's like an organized hoarder, I guess, right? Because he has storage places, but the storage places are rather full with different types of equipment, tools, inventions that he's made, good and bad, and somewhere in between. And then also, too, he has bizarrely enough, he has an immediate access to like a sewer area, which is where he finds some of his more unique components that he uses for different spells or to help build
Nice.
different tools. So you yeah, so
So
you
I
spend
I feel like Lissa's probably been here before, so she's probably somewhat familiar with the setup and that kind of stuff.
yep.
But
Hmm.
yep,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, they've done this
Yeah.
before where she just
Yeah.
goes for the weekend and hangs
Yeah.
out.
When you came, when you came in, it's likely. So yeah, let's we'll take a quick minute here and so as you you go to the university, you picked up Bigwing and a few essentials. Maybe you packed a bag or something, right? For a
Right.
long, and Uncle Z says, yeah, he's let's just grab some shit, throw it in a bag. Let's go. A few days, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, however long you want to stay. We can figure out how to wash your clothes if you need to if you
Yeah, no
need something
problem.
washed. It's fine.
Yep,
And then say, all right, if you're good to go, let's go. And he
let's do it.
makes another motion with his hand in the air, and a teleport circle appears before you. And you walk through it, and you appear in his lab. Um, and he's like, yeah, it's been a few years, I think, huh? You haven't seen this place in a little while. You should really check out what I've done with the place. Like I've really tried to make some improvements around here. And as he's talking, you hear in the background just like all this like just electrical noise happening, and you see there's this giant contraption that's over against one wall that's just shooting all this arcing like electrical purplish electrical energy all around that machine. And
Yeah. Uncle Z, should we be worried about that? Like, is it supposed to do that? Electricity?
he's
That's
like,
new.
no, he's like, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's my coffee roaster. You'll see.
Ah,
We'll have some pretty kick ass espresso tomorrow morning. But
nice.
probably don't need any now. I mean I'm lucky if I get like 3 hours of sleep here. So I'm still kind of amped up here. You know, there's that's all that shit with your mom and dad's a little bit much. I can only imagine how you're feeling right now.
Right? My dad is the worst. I hope I never see him again. But yeah, very cool. So, what else have you done with the place?
Well, I've I mean I added another bookshelf. So it's a shorter bookshelf. It's the little bit more of the higher like I actually managed to find some books that are really focus on more of the higher level spells. And I tend to I've been really into collecting like uh, just a lot of alchemy and spell books lately. It's been kind of been my thing for the last like maybe I don't know 2 weeks. So I've just been stocking up. I've been bouncing around to different areas of Eberron and buying books here and there, like wherever I can get my hands on them. Most of them I've bought anyway. I'll just say it like that. But it
Oh
is what it
yeah.
is. Living that living that neutral lifestyle. It's just kind of whatever fits the bill, I suppose.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can
absolutely.
relate. You've always been
Absolutely.
you've always been a little on the daring, on the more adventurous side. Not like a lot more like your mom and your dad. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's why
That's for sure.
that's why school is so cool because they got all those hands-on activities that we're supposed to do and I get to actually like try my spells on real monsters and stuff. And
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. What is that? And he sees the box that you still have in your hands that you have not let go of this entire
Right?
time,
Yes.
that you're clutching, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, he looks at it and he smells, and he's like, "Do I smell your mom's scones?"
Lissa says yes. And then she starts crying.
And
Um
he goes, "Oh," he's like, oh, sweetie, it's okay." He comes in, and he gives you a big hug, and he slowly tries to he's like, let me hear. why don't we get you settled in? Let me just take the box and we'll set this down. And he goes to slowly grab it from you. And what do you do when he tries to
Uh,
take the box?
she tenses and then she relaxes and lets him
Okay.
take it.
And he sets it on the table and he's like, come on. He's like, it's like, I got a nice little, it's a nice little easy chair over here you can sit in. Just sit down. You want a glass of water or something?
Yeah.
Need something, some juice or
Do you
something?
got anything stronger than that?
Like, he's like, oh hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There we
And he
go.
and he goes over to this cabinet and he comes over and he's like got this like it's not so much a carafe. It's similar to like a carafe, but like with a really cool. It's like a glass bottle slash carafe combined, right? So
Okay.
it's not like a tightly sealed bottle, so it does have a top. It has a lid, but it's
Mhm.
like glass on glass. So he like opens it up and he's like, yeah, this stuff. Take a take a shot of this. This stuff will knock you on your ass. You'll have a great night's sleep. You could probably use it. And he pours you a tall glass, neat, no ice, and just hands it to you. And he opens
Nice.
up and then he's like, yeah, you drink that. He opens up the box and he's just like, I'm just gonna take a quick whiff. And he just goes, he just opens the box and just sniffs your scones. Like he says, oh, he's like,
They're
oh God.
they're best fresh.
He's
We
like,
should
man.
we should she wanted us to enjoy them. We should eat them. They
He's like,
yes.
he's like, are you sure?
Yeah, yes, I'm sure. We shouldn't let them go to waste.
Right. So he takes one out and hands it to you, and then he takes one and he's just like he just eats it like so fast. He's like he's like
Listen, yeah. No, go
he's like I
ahead.
can't eat. He's like I can't even tell you. I haven't eaten in like a day and a half. Like this is
Un-
amazing. This is couldn't be anything better for me right now than this.
Uncle
Just
Z, you gotta
some
remember
solid
to
carbs.
eat.
There's too many things to do. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't know. I can't waste time. Can't waste time eating. Can't waste time sleeping. And as soon as I can figure it out, I won't waste time going to the bathroom either. Just give me time. I'll figure it out. So we're
Oh
gonna. So
man,
yeah. So that's your entrance into the lab, right? Um.
nice.
So so yeah. So You've been there for a long weekend so far, and he's showing you his favorite spells and stuff, and he's provided you with couple of spell books and other books to study while you're there to help you improve on your mage breeding skills. Um, so as you and so it's like we would go into like a montage scene, right, where it's Lissa's just studying,
Oh
studying,
yeah,
studying, and you see her like the clock, like it's like stop motion, and you see Lissa like moving around from spot to spot in the lab, and she's like, messing around with some chemicals and some beakers and some potions for 1 hour, and then
definitely
like the next minute she's over like grabbing a shot of espresso, and you're totally like picking up on some of the you're spending so much time close to Uncle Z that you're starting to pick up a little bit of his mannerisms, of his just
nice.
like not chaoticness, but like that whole like very just like sporadic, like
Focused.
like kind
Yeah,
of like just pew pew pew, like that ADHD kind of thing going on,
shooting from thing to thing as it
Yes,
comes up,
exactly.
as it
Yep.
pops into her brain.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. But then so as you're doing this research, and then you know, it's been a few days, and Uncle Z says, "Hey, Liz, let's sit down. Let's talk about how things are going. Let's connect on this mage breeding stuff." So it seems like you're starting to really see the books you've been focusing on is really just all about the mage breeding stuff to try to fix your bigwing here. And he kind of nods and points over at your or at your songbird that's like it's like so so I know we
right,
talked about Big Wing and how he's like super big wings on a tiny body, but can
right.
you add any more color commentary to what Big Wing really looks like?
I think he's a like a robin, so he's blue. He's got that red chest, and the wings are now just expansive, and you can see the what's it called? I forget. The ribbing along the.
Okay.
hmm
Yep.
and he's just like they're so big. He can move them, but he's very slow about it. Very methodical about his
Okay.
movements. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And
Um,
yeah.
okay. And is his so the noises, what kind of noises does he make? You don't have to make the
Oh
noises, but
shoot.
like if you were to
Yeah, no,
describe it,
thank you.
like what how would you describe his noises that he makes?
I can't.
What could you compare it to?
Oh, um, did we ever discuss on whether? Because I was mixing him with a harpy.
So we did say that like he didn't really achieve that the harpy like the
Right.
screech thing or whatever. So like
That's right.
so he but his
I think
tweet, if you will, kind of went like a couple octaves lower
that's right. That's
to where
right.
it
Yeah.
sounds kind of awkward.
Yeah, it's like it's lower, kind of awkward, like lower than you would expect for that body, and it's like kind of out of tune. Like it just feels
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
flat.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There you go. That's
hmm
cool. Um, so then yeah, so as you're going through these books and everything, you realize that you need to hunt down a few specific spell components. Um,
Okay.
and so the there's four different spell components that you need to hunt down. Um, and so it's a you believe that if you can use these items together, you can if you get these items, you can use these items together to enable you to magically modify Bigwing. Okay.
All right.
The components that you need are as follows. So you need a giant owl feather. This will unlock Find Familiar to establish a permanent link with Bigwing.
Nice.
And he would also be able to speak with you psychically.
Oh, heck yeah. That would be
Okay.
cool.
The second is ground gem dust, and
Ooh.
this would unlock a magic missile attack for Bigwing.
Ooh.
Um, and then the third one is a chip of mica, which would unlock the spell Shatter. And then a firefly, which is the fourth thing, which would be to cast light. And these are all things that
Nice.
Bigwing would be able to do.
Okay.
But now here's the key. The key thing though is that if even if you can get all four of these things, but ultimately it will only you've done your research to know that even if you get all four, you'll only be able to unlock three of the four things. So
Right. Don't want to overwhelm
you'll have to choose the three things that you want
that
to
that little
imbue into Big
songbird.
Wing. Right?
Hmm.
Because the fourth because the reason why you're only picking three is because the remaining energy that would have given you all four, you're using to try to fix Big Wing from a uh, what's the
Proportions, maybe?
proportion? Yeah, from a
Yes.
proportion perspective, exactly. So so you figured all this out, and so Uncle Z's like, yeah. So you've been so he
Mhm.
says yeah, you've been looking at those books a lot there, Al, the past couple of days. So what are you thinking?
All right, so here's the deal, Uncle Z. We need a giant owl feather, ground gem dust, a chip of mica, and a firefly. And then I can
Okay.
decide what I want to do.
Okay. So you think that's you think you're good after that? Yeah.
Oh
Think
yeah,
that'll do it?
definitely.
Okay.
That'll do it.
All right.
That'll make Big
Okay.
Wing over here the big star of my group.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. Okay. Um, and like as he's sitting there listening, he's like, yeah, okay, okay, yeah, okay, okay, right, okay. It's like any kind of like nodding his head, yeah, yeah. And he walks over to the crazy giant electrical espresso machine and pours himself another shot and slams it. He's like, yeah, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so got it. All right, so um, and mind you, for the sake of context, we're just going to say that um, I didn't do a deep enough prep dive to determine where in Eberron his lab is.
Okay, yeah.
Um, So I don't necessarily think that that's is key to this story.
Nah, he can
Maybe at a
teleport,
later date. Yeah, maybe at a later date we can explore that a
right?
little bit more. But for now,
Mhm.
I don't think we need to get into that context for anybody else that would be listening. So
Mhm.
um, says, he's all right. He says, okay. So yeah. So all right. So, this is so weird. Okay, so there's a tavern down the street. They run a back
Okay.
alley. They run a back alley dice game.
Oh,
The guy that runs it, uh, he only bets. So you bet money, but he only bets hard to find spell components.
nice.
Yeah, because he's just for I don't I mean
Just
I
for
don't
kicks?
I don't I don't know. It's I don't write this shit. I don't understand what this guy's into, right? So, but
Hmm.
he just like that's his deal. Like he he can get components all day long from all different kinds of places and sources and whatever black market. I don't know. I don't know how he gets this shit, but um, and he likes to gamble and he likes money and this is his gig. So like, and he could open a shop and make it easy, but he likes to take chances. He's a little bit
Where's the
crazy.
fun in
I
that?
mean,
Yeah.
in some ways, I can appreciate the crazy a little bit,
Right. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
you can,
definitely.
yeah, I
Hey, I
mean,
mean, to
so
each their own. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and then he walks back over to the machine and makes another espresso and slams it. And he's like, so yeah, so if you just like, just just go out the door. So, okay,
Hmm.
so the place is called the Black Snake. Okay,
Okay.
so you need to go there and you ask for an onion wine.
Onion wine?
Onion wine.
All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Got it. Got it.
So then the bartender is going to know what you're talking about, and then they're going to point you to the back room. Back room. The guy's name's Grobel.
Roble.
Okay.
Okay.
Grobel. He's a
Okay.
gnome.
Nice. I like
He's a
gnomes.
gnome, and he's he's crazy.
Well,
He's you
I've been
if you think
I've
I'm
been
like
hanging out with you.
eccentric,
It's
what do you mean? I'm not crazy. What kind of crap? What kind of come on, Al?
no, no.
What is it? Just
Well,
because just because I'm trying to clone your mom's scones, I mean that's not crazy. That's smart
I did
business.
notice you saved one. That's
Yeah.
okay though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's probably a good
I am
idea.
limited. I am limited on time because I mean, this thing could start molding any day now. So I gotta.
Exactly.
I don't want to clone a moldy scone.
Best
That's
fresh.
not going to work out well.
Yep.
So okay, so yeah, you go to the tavern, uh, go to the tavern, and then you'll play, and he'll play a game. He'll play. It's called Goblin Dice, and he'll play Goblin Dice with you.
Okay.
So you go do that. It's pretty. It shouldn't be too busy right now. It's only like two, so it should be pretty chill. He should
Nice.
he should be accepting some new players. So you go check it out. I'm gonna keep working on the scone, and I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. All right, great.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So yeah, so you head out, and he's pointed out to you where the tavern is. So you you walk down, you exit the lab, and it's on the outskirts. His lab is on the outskirts of like a town. So as you walk out, you walk down the path, walk down the street, and
Yep.
it's like a dirt road kind of street that your uncle's lab is on, kind of out of the way a little bit. And as you keep walking down the dirt path, it slowly turns into like some brick path. And then you enter into a nice little town, and you see this tavern that looks it looks kind of it's all gray brick, and there's a sign hanging on the outside, swinging in the breeze, and it's got this crazy snake on it, and the snake like the head of the snake hangs off of the sign off to one side, and it's like in this really cool squiggly pattern, um, and then on the door it just says in big letters engraved on the door it says BS.
Nice. Lissa doesn't hesitate. She walks in that door.
Okay. You walk in. There's some in the back corner of the bar. There's some just random humanoid looking figure just playing a lute, like just rather quietly, just kind of playing some live music for the patrons. There's maybe about like 4 or 5 people in there just having some drinks, casual. Um, Two that are sitting closest to the door, they see you walk in. And what do they see? Like how is Lissa looking right now? Like what's she wearing? What's she feeling? What's her vibe? What's her fit?
Nice. She is definitely like in more of like sweatpants and a t-shirt. Um, the let's say gray
Okay.
sweatpants and a black t-shirt,
Okay.
and just
All right.
her hair is
Okay.
down, just like hanging around her shoulders.
Okay.
Did not put much effort. Probably hasn't looked in a mirror in a couple days.
Okay. Yeah. That's total Uncle Z vibes right there. Yeah, so these two of the patrons by the door, they kind of look at you and they're like, and like you see one of them like reaches into their pocket and and tosses a silver coin at you, like looking like you're homeless. As it plinks on the ground on the floor in front of
Right,
you.
it just bounces off of her
Um,
onto the floor. She looks down
and
at it, picks it up, and is like, "Hey, you dropped this."
and the patron's like, uh, 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 oh, I thought maybe you might need it more than me.
Oh, no. I'm good. Don't worry. Here we go. No worries.
Oh, okay,
I got plenty.
okay.
The
And
school I go to, they just load me up with cash.
oh, you're a
With
student?
gold. Yeah, I'm kind of like on a long weekend right now. But yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to make assumptions. That's my bad. I should really know better than to assume
No worries. No
based on
worries.
people's appearance.
You you've got
You
you've
notice
got a
she's got
kind
like
heart.
yeah, you notice she's got like a hood on, and and she says, I shouldn't judge people's appearance, and she like kind of pulls the hood back a little bit, and you see there's like she's tiefling, and like one of her horns is
Mm.
busted, and like she's like, I'm so sorry, and she takes the coin back. You see in the back, you see a bartender like just kind of scowling at you from from the bar, and he's just like wiping out a glass and just kind of like tidying up some stuff and grabs a mead for one person sitting at the bar and hands it to him. As you approach, the bartender's like, yeah, yeah,
Lissa sits down and she says, So how's business been recently? How's your day going?"
yeah, all right,
Cool. Nice. Got a good afternoon crowd here, I see.
yeah, yeah.
I'm in the mood for an onion wine. Do you have one of those?
Yeah, yeah, onion wine. Mm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
yeah,
heard it was
yeah.
quite interesting that you
Uh,
always took kind of a gamble when you had an onion wine.
I got why don't you let me take you back over here and I can show you the got a couple different vintages you can pick from. Come on,
Nice.
come on.
Nice. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and he walks out from behind the bar, takes you over to this door. And he opens the door. He's like right, go come right in this way. Come on.
All
And
right.
as you walk through, like he fakes like he's going to walk in with you, and then he pushes you in, and he closes the door, and and then you swear you hear behind the door like muted like people seriously never should have. He's just griping. And then you walk, so you're in this room. It's this dimly lit, very small room, maybe a little bit bigger than a walk-in closet. and you see this gnome sitting at a table, and you see behind him there's shelves, and there's bins with like just all like crazy, just like little stone fists and all this crazy shit, just like in these bins and in these and like on these shelves and stuff, all behind him. And you realize that like he's sitting at a table, like a gaming table, and behind him is just literally just it's full of components of spells, stuff that you don't even recognize, you've never even seen. And some things that you have seen, some things that you've used. Like so, you're just kind of like taken aback by seeing all this stuff.
Right?
And and the gnome sees you. And he's like, why, hello.
Good afternoon. I heard that this was the place to come to if I needed some spell components, and I can see that I heard correctly. You've got quite a collection back there.
Why, yes, my dear, indeed that is true. But what pray tell what well, first of all, have a seat, please.
Sure, 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 sure.
And he gets from his seat, like he's sitting, and he's at like waist level, right, at the table. But then as
Hmm.
he's get out of his seat, his head is just up past the table because he's got a booster seat in the chair. And he comes
Hmm.
walking over, and he pulls the chair out for you, and he's like, please, my dear, please do sit. And
Oh,
he holds his hand out, and he gives you a very like limp wet noodle handshake. And he's like, Matt, please tell me what is your name?
I am Lissa Fernwillow. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Well, it's very nice to meet you. And my name is Grobel. Now
Grovel.
now but that's what the commoners call. I prefer Grobel.
Grobel. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like to put a little accent on it, if you will.
Gotcha. Nice.
From the southern regions of the shadow marshes, from where I originate.
Wow, you're quite far from home.
Well, I mean, well, I could not run a business like this back home. I mean,
Mm.
how many thieving half orc lunatics are running around that place. It's something
I, I,
fierce.
I've got an idea. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, a bunch of a bunch of just they say no,
Yeah.
they're miners, they say.
Yeah.
And then they come and they steal some of my shit, and I'm like, that's not,
Well,
a miner doesn't do that, you know. And,
well,
and
not all half orcs are all that bad.
mm, mm, I beg to
Yeah.
differ. That I definitely tell you one thing: they're all not smart. I'll tell you that
Oh.
much.
Um. Anyways.
So anyway, let me pour you. Why don't you let me pour you some let me pour you some of my fine onion wine. And
All
he
right.
actually pulls out a bottle and
Nice.
and pours a glass of some onion wine and hands it to you. And he's like, and then he pours himself some. He sniffs it and he's like, oh, mm, this is a fine aged sweet onion wine. Good
Oh
goodness
my.
gracious. And he just drinks like half the glass, sets it down by his seat, gets back in his seat,
Uh,
and he sits there and he just looks at you.
Lissa takes like a polite sip and goes, yes, delicious.
Okay, yeah, why don't you do a con save for
All
me?
right, let's see. Let's see how this onion wine is. Con save. Okay, okay. 13.
Okay. It's not great,
Hmm.
but you can swallow it and make it seem
She gets it down.
like you're okay with it.
Nice.
Um, and Grobel smiles. He's like, so I know we both know why you're really here. Why don't we pony up and play us some goblin dice?
Let's get to it.
What you say, what you wanna let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, dear. What are you looking for?
So, I am looking for a giant owl feather. Absolutely. Definitely want one of those. Um, the next three, I'm not quite certain about yet, but I would like at least two of them. Do you have any ground gem dust or a chip of mica? Or, I mean, a firefly?
Um, sad to say, I only have the owl feather.
Okay. All right. Well, if that was the one you're going to have, then that is the one that I really wanted. So,
And he turns around and he see his hands kind of fly around frantically for like just a second. And he comes back, turns back around. He's got like three feathers in his hand. And he just caresses them. And like, you know how you, like when you get a feather and you like run it through your hand to like watch it shrink and then expand. And he does that whole thing with
mhm.
the feathers. And he shakes
Right.
them and he fans himself with them. He's like, look at these beautiful giant owl feathers. And if you will notice, they are also rather large in your hand too, just not my tiny gnome hand. Just so we are clear that these are indeed giant
These
owl
are
feathers, because they
good
came
size.
they came from a giant owl. And
Nice.
he sets them on the table. He's like, all right, so we're gonna say opening bet. Opening bet is gonna be 5 gold for one
Okay.
owl feather.
Okay.
You can pony up, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Here you
Okay.
go.
Okay. So you slide 5 gold onto the table. He
Yep.
puts an owl feather into the center of the table. And so the first thing you want to do, and you're not gonna tell me your totals of your dice totals until you're done. Okay. Until
Okay.
until
Okay.
we until we finish the round. So this is
Nice.
round one.
Okay.
And so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna roll a d8.
Okay. And not tell you what it
Correct.
is. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So he holds up his little hand and he takes a little polyhedral die out and he rolls it on the table. And he puts his hand over the die and he's like, ooh wee. He's like, hmm, I'm gonna raise another owl feather.
High is good, right? Just not quite familiar with these rules.
Do you ask him that?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, well, my dear, if you don't know how to play goblin dice, then maybe you shouldn't be here.
Oh no, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. All right, all right. I
Okay.
raise I raise you another 5 gold.
Ooh, ooh, making the pot a little rich. I declare, you young folks, you're so all about the experience, aren't you? And then roll a d6.
Right?
He says, I think I'm gonna stand on this one. Now you have the option of either also standing, or
Or raise,
you
right?
can raise, and then he would have to match.
I'll stand.
Okay. All right. We got one more roll,
All
and
right.
and then you're gonna roll a d4.
Right.
That's a fine one. I can't ever find one because they're pointy, so they hide easily in my
They
dice tray.
do.
All right. Okay. So he rolls and he hides it under. It's like his hand barely covers all the dice. He's like, ooh wee. He's like, all right, pony up. What's your total?
I got a 14.
He's like, ooh, I got a 14 too.
No way.
He's like,
Oh man.
oh, that's okay. That's a that's a based on the fact that you asking if how is good or not, I'm gonna have to tell you that that's a draw. So what that means
Makes
is that we each take back what we came in with,
Yep.
and you can go, or we can try again.
Oh no, no, no. We gotta try again. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. And this time he's like, I'm just gonna start out with 2 owl feathers. I'm feeling frisky. And he
All right.
puts two of the three he's got down. He's like, all
Oh,
right, start rolling. Roll that first D8.
All right.
And he's like, ooh, man, I'm on a hot streak today, I must say.
Can I make an insight check?
Indeed. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Oh no. Lissa's insight is not good. That's an 11.
Um, you, you feel like he's genuine in what he's saying. Whether or not he's bluffing you or not, you can't tell that.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
says, you know, why don't let me I'm gonna throw another feather in right now. And you wanna match me
I'm
there,
gonna match.
girly?
5 more
All
gold.
right. All right, let's
Absolutely.
let's do it. Roll that next die. Like, he's like,
Ooh. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
so good. And then he turns back around and he comes back and he's got like 5 owl feathers in his hand, and he takes the those 5, and then the last one on the table plops down 6, and he's
Oh
like,
my goodness.
now do the math. Do the math now. That's and he's like
Lissa
counting
puts
his
in
fingers like that 30
30 more
gold.
gold. Yep.
He's like,
Yep. She
okay,
puts it in.
all right, you roll that last one now.
She blows on
He's
it for good luck. Rolls that dice. All right. All right. All right. Not too
he's like
bad.
he's like woo woo woo. And he's like, all right, total them up. What you got?
All right. So this time I got a 13.
And he's like, you see his face change. And
Oh no.
he's like, well, I guess I got played fair and square. And he's like, I only had a 10. He's
Ah.
like, he's like, could you tell I was bluffing?
Um. Nope. I just decided to bluff too.
Well, I like your moxie and your spirit. And he's like, all right. He's like, okay, so now he's like, now right now you have you have advantage. Okay?
Right.
So what that means is we're gonna go one more round,
Okay.
and the winner takes the whole pot. But you get advantage on every roll you make, and you pick the best number out of each set. You follow me? What I'm
Okay.
saying to you?
Okay. Okay.
You get me?
So I rolled twice and I picked the higher. Okay.
Yep. So let's roll. So you roll that 8. Roll that.
Hmm.
Roll that.
All
Roll
right.
that
All
8.
right. Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ooh boy, I hope your advantage is gonna help you. Telling you.
Statistically, it should, but you
I'm
know how
telling you.
fate is
I mean,
sometimes.
I mean, you are a student. You should know this stuff. All right, let's roll that 6 now.
Learned it in spell theory. All right.
Like ooh wee, oof. Okay, one more.
All right, let's
Let's
go.
let's do it.
Oh, advantage. All
All
right.
right. So what's your total?
All right. So this one was a 12.
Ooh. And he goes like this. He takes his hands and he's like, and he just reaches out and he grabs everything and goes 13 and pulls
No.
and pulls it all in. And he says, sometimes advantage ain't really an
It was
advantage.
that D4 at the end. I
And
rolled
he's
two
like,
ones in a row.
you wanna try again?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Let's go
Okay.
again.
Man,
Yep.
big spender. I really like you. I really surely
Well, you
do.
see, there was this rich vampire that we helped fake his death, and I got some gold from him. So,
Oh, wait a minute. What was his name?
uh, um, what was it, like Jacob or something? Emmett,
Was
Carlisle,
it
I forget.
was it was it was it Eddie?
Uh,
Edward?
maybe. I don't know. Do you
Mm.
know an Edward? Edward?
Was he kind of skinny and lanky and sparkly and stuff?
And real sad. So sad. I can't even. So
Yeah,
sad.
that rat bastard's girlfriend came in here and cleaned me out a few months back. I could not believe her. She had such the gall about her too. She's so entitled. I'm t- I s-
Yeah, I got that feeling for sure. I
ooh
mean,
wee.
had a loving father and didn't even want to talk to him. So weird.
Yeah. You
Can't
know,
believe her.
I mean, you appreciate having strong parents that look out for you, right?
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Because, not
Yeah.
everyone has that. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Parents can suck. They can suck real bad
Um,
sometimes.
so he roll against insight. Roll against an insight. Tell me what you
Okay,
roll.
okay, all right. 15.
Okay. So he got one more than you.
Okay.
So 16. So
Yeah.
he looks at you and he's like, you know, sometimes parents really can suck, but sometimes some of them they they just don't know how to be the best kind of parent they can be. And then when the time comes for them to really where they can really step up, sometimes they don't always deliver, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They try. Um
Yeah.
and and yeah, we're gonna leave that there. And he
Okay.
he says he's like, okay. And he takes two feathers and he slaps them on the table. He's like, all right, let's go.
All right, let's go.
It's
Slaps
like
down 10 more gold.
roll that 8.
All right, I got this. Got the hang of this game now. Let's go.
And he's like, whoa, 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 boy. And he like takes another two feathers and puts them down. He's like, you matching me?
I'm trying that insight check one more time. That's a
Okay.
17.
What do I? Okay, so
See if she can
um,
has cat caught
oh,
on to his bluffing.
he is 100%. You can tell he's 100% bluffing for
Oh,
sure.
good. All right. Then she throws down 10 more gold.
Yeah, he's like, all right, let's roll that
Let's
6. Come
let's
on
keep
now.
going. Let's keep going.
He's like,
Ooh.
and he's like, he's
Oh.
like, oh, he's like, man, I hope you're one of those rich students because I'm about to clean your clock. He's
Let's
like,
see about it. Let's see
he,
about it.
and he drops one more feather down, so there's 5 feathers on the table.
All right, she puts 5 more gold.
Okay,
All
um,
right.
and he's holding his hand over it. He's like, he's
Mhm.
like, he's like, show me what you got.
Lissa lifts her hand and she's got a 6, 6, and a 3. 15.
He lifts his hand and he goes, you know, I've always been good at bluffing. You had
Mhm.
no idea that I only had 3.
Oh my goodness gracious. Lissa plays it up. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? I thought for sure. The only reason I put my stuff down is I rolled that 6 on the middle dice. I felt pretty good.
He's like,
All
all right,
right.
now it's the same. It's the advantage round now. So
Okay, all right. So I've got advantage.
you gotta come correct
This
because
time advantage. Better
I
not let
whooped
me down.
I whooped your ass last time there, Lissa.
That's right. That's right. You did.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
let's see. Luck
you're a nice
luck will change. Lady
young girl.
Luck
So
is on my
I'm trying to
side.
be cool with you.
Right?
So first he rolls the first one and he hides it. It's
All
like
right.
all right. Now the second one. Like, okay.
All right. All right.
Now the third one.
Advantage. All right.
Like, all right.
Okay.
Now, what do you got?
I've got a lucky number 13.
He's like, and he lifts up his hand, lifts up his hand, lifts the dice, looks at you, looks over, takes his onion wine, slams it, the rest of it, lifts up his hand and goes, 6. You won, dear.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and
Thank
and
you.
he pushes everything towards you.
All right.
Um,
Things are looking up. Nice.
and he's like, you take those feathers and I hope you do some good with them. And just remember, just remember, don't be if you're having some trouble with your parents, don't be too hard on them. They typically they mean well. And
I don't know about this one.
and he says, but then so every once in a while there's just some that are just real dickheads, and you just can't.
Right.
That just ain't gonna change.
Don't worry. I've got some good friends. I'll be just fine.
Well,
Cool
that's
uncle.
good. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. I'm glad to
I
hear
don't
that.
need my dad anyways. And then she slams a little bit of that onion wine a little bit more than she did before.
Like, like that's hey. Anytime you want to come back, you want to play another round. I'm here. I'm here for you. Just remember,
You're pretty cool, Grobel.
grow bell,
Grobel.
grow
Yes.
bell. So
Nice.
when that whoever told you to come here, you correct them when you see them. You say it's not Grobel, it's Grobel.
Oh, I'll tell him. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's got a nice flair to it.
And he jumps off his booster seat, and he comes over, and he limp handshakes you again, and he smooches the top of your hand. He's like, now you have a good rest of your day. And uh and he opens the door, and he's like, go on now.
You too. Thanks for the onion wine. Wink, wink.
Anytime.
All right.
And as you walk out, the bartender is like, huh? How'd you do?
Pretty good. Liked the wine.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's about
nice.
it's about time that bastard was on a hot streak. Wouldn't stop talking about it.
Don't worry.
Glad
I knocked
someone
him down a notch.
glad someone put him in his place. You can hear a muffled voice in the back go, now you mind your business, and you run the bar. I got my thing,
Nice.
you got your thing. We coexist. Shut your mouth. Do your job. And you leave the bar and you head back to the lab, having
Yes.
completed having gotten your giant owl feather.
Nice.
Um, so you go to the lab and you see Z, and he's like sitting at a table, and he's like fussing with all these gears, and and this like this crazy like little miniature construct thing that he's working on, and like his hands are shaking, and he's like just because he's so wired, and he's just like trying to like he can't. He's got tweezers, and he can't. And he's like keeps dropping the thing he's trying to put on it, and he like looks up at you like all like frantic, like jump scared, and he's like, oh,
She holds it
hey,
up.
hey, Al, how'd you? Oh,
I
shit,
got it.
awesome,
Yeah.
nice. It's like, hey, you want to take a break? I made some food. You hungry?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's eat.
Yeah,
Got
so he,
can't
he
work on an empty stomach.
yeah, so you come, you sit down in the easy chair. He sits down in the another chair next to you, and gives you a bowl of just like some pasta, with some sauce on it and stuff. Nothing too fantastic. Um, he's like, yeah, try this out. It's a new dish I'm working on. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay.
I put a little bit of espresso in the sauce. Get
Nice.
a
Nice,
little get a
nice, nice.
little extra zing. Um,
Absolutely.
like and as he's eating, he's like eating like really, and he like still he like pauses for a second. You're just slowly kind of chilling, eating, kind of
Oh
looking at him,
yeah.
and just like because you're smiling, you're happy, you're
I'm
you're
riding a
you,
high.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're not thinking about
Nope.
anything that happened before you came here.
Mm-mm.
And he says, but then your uncle's like, and all of a sudden he comes, he's like this, like really like wired, and then he all of a sudden just goes, "Phew," and he crashes, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna I'm gonna miss your mom. And then he eats a couple more bites. You know, I got a funny story about your mom if you want to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So,
Definitely.
you know, when when uh when my brother first brought her around, man, he's smoking. Like, I mean, when your mom was young, she was. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Rose, Uncle
Don't
Z,
don't
please.
get don't get me wrong. She grew into a very attractive woman throughout the decades. But when I first saw her, man, she was something else. And she was fierce, and she was gorgeous and hot. And I had no how I had the hardest time understanding why she was with my brother of all people. That dude, that chump, you know, he's wasting his time with working with these animals and stuff and breaking his back when he could be saving himself all kinds of effort and time, and really living his life. But it's fine. I meet her, we hung out a few times as a group. I tried to flirt with your mom a couple times. I could have
No.
been your I Liz, I could have been your
No, no.
I could have been your dad if
Well,
if if
you would have
if
done a much better job. That's
if
all
we
I'm gonna say.
if we made it happen. I mean, I could have it could you could have had all this. I mean, look, could have been your paw. But yeah, but she wasn't having it. Wasn't having it. She didn't want nothing to do with me. And then I knew, and it was like, no, that's when I knew she was the one for him. That's when I knew she was a good one, because she didn't let her eyes stray. She was devoted to him. There was no way I was going to win her over. I mean, I probably could have cast a spell on that, and made some things happen.
Work
You know
some
what I mean?
things.
But
Yeah,
but but
Yeah.
I gotta remember my
There are
audience.
some lines, right?
Yeah, you don't
You
you don't need
shouldn't
to know about
cross.
you don't need to know about those kind of thoughts. That's pushing it. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, she
she
really
was
loved him.
yeah, she was a
Yeah.
she was a good gal. She was a good gal, and regardless of of mine and his, you know, bullshit or arguments or fights or whatever. He didn't agree with what I'm doing, whatever nonsense. I don't care about that. He treated her well, and she treated him well, and they were a good pair. And
Yep.
and I worry that this is gonna really do a number on him. And
Yeah.
and then he just goes back to eating, and like he comes back out of his crash, and he's like gets fired back up again and starts eating fast. Um, he's like, he finishes off. He's like, all right. He's like, okay. Like, so you got the feathers. So gem. So okay. So gem dust. All right. So,
Right.
um, just all you there's a did you didn't see the jewelers like down the street a little ways from the bar?
What? No.
Yeah. Go to the jewelers. It's a few blocks away. They're still open.
Okay.
A few
Okay.
blocks away.
Hmm.
Ask them about the gem dust. The owner Tufflin can help you out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so it's Tufflin's Jewelers. So just go there and talk to Tufflin, and he'll get you straight. Okay.
All right.
And Grobel. Yeah. Did you like
Grobel. Grobel. He likes to go by Grobel. I
Yeah,
found
man,
out.
fuck that
He's
guy.
a funny guy, isn't
He's just
he?
being pretentious. He's just being he just
Well,
he's,
he's got the spell component store to back it up, I have to say, Uncle Z. It's pretty good.
that is true. I've gotten quite a few awesome components from him. I prefer the shallot wine to the onion wine, though. The onion wine's it's a
A
little
little
bit,
strong, isn't it? A little
yeah,
pungent.
it's got like almost like this like faint rankness to it that's
Right, and
not
that
super
aftertaste.
appealing.
Ugh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but he loves it. Loves it.
Yeah,
He
he's a
loves it.
fun guy. I
I
liked
mean,
him.
I mean, he makes every batch of that onion wine himself. He stomps on those onions for hours at a
Oh,
time.
good. So I got his foot juice too. That's
Well, I
excellent.
mean, that's the onion wine. I mean, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think wine with grapes is? Same thing.
Yeah, but
Stomp on the grapes.
yeah. different.
Yeah, it's if it was grape wine, you'd probably be like, oh yeah, it tastes great, it's good, it's yum, it's tasty.
Well, yeah, the
You wouldn't
taste
even care
makes
about
up
the
for the
known feat.
idea of the
Yeah,
of the feat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So go,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh yeah, I
go
gotta
to the
go. I
jeweler's,
gotta
go,
go,
get out
Uncle
of
Z.
here,
Stop
get going,
distracting me. Let's
get
go.
going.
So she
Um,
goes, runs out the
uh,
door.
yeah. So you walk past the bar, you just kind of chuckle to yourself, you're like, is it Grobel or Grobel? Yeah, whatever. And you just kind of walking along. You're all bopping along in a good mood. And you get to the jewelry store and you see like there's just a small, it's a very modest store. Just a door going in, and there's a display window, and there's some really lovely pieces in the window. Very understated store. And yeah,
I go on in.
you walk in and you see a patron behind you see uh, s- uh salesperson, I guess,
Shopkeep
yeah,
something. Yeah.
shopkeep behind the counter. Yeah.
Maria, good afternoon.
Hello.
You have some really nice pieces here.
Thank you.
Today I'm actually looking for something a little bit smaller. Do you have any gem dust here?
Hmm. Nope.
Can you make some?
Uh,
I'll pay. I have some money.
I mean, I make some all the time, but we have you know, we have we have a recycler.
A recycler?
We have a town we have a
What
town
for?
we have a town recycler, and they come by, they take all the waste, and I don't know what they do with it, but they take all the waste. So sometimes I have gem dust, and I have gem dust until the recycler comes and takes the gem dust, and then I don't have the gem dust anymore.
Well, what does the recycler do with it?
But I think they maybe make beaded jewelry with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Some so sometimes I get some of the beads, and then look over here. Points in the case, and there's like a couple bracelets with like some
Oh,
really
very
cool
pretty.
sparkly looking beads in there. They're like one's like, some ruby colored beads, right? And then
Nice.
some like emerald colored beads and stuff. And she's like, yes, I mean, yeah,
How hard do you think it would be to? I mean, I don't, obviously I would never, but how hard would you think it would be to turn these back into gem dust?
I mean, the recyclers just down the way. You could,
Oh, okay.
I mean, they just came and picked up today.
Oh, okay. Thanks. And Lissa runs out the door.
Oh, bye. And
She mumbled under her breath. She's like, that person reminded me a lot of one of my friends. Hmm. Okay.
um, DM's limited voice character
No,
voicing capabilities.
no. I was thinking of John's character, but Sable as well.
Oh,
But
okay,
like a mix of them. Yep.
okay. Um, yeah. So you're just walking down the way because you have no idea
Right. She's
like
looking
what.
for something that looks like, I don't know, giant machine,
Okay.
a dirty shop that has lots of junk around it. Yeah, and she's like half jogging, um, she wants to make sure she gets there before it closes, wherever it may be.
How about a perception check, if you will?
All right. All right, here we go. That is good. That is a 20.
All right. So you see a it just so happens to be on the outskirts of the town, which isn't really that far away. And you see a cottage. There's a sign on the outside of the cottage that says Bruella's Bountiful Beads.
Hmm, nice. Cruella.
Yep.
All right. And that looks like the recycler, or
You
it
see a
looks like
cot. You see a
I got it.
cottage. You see a cottage with a sign on the outside that says Bruella's Bountiful Beads.
Well, I might as well try. So she goes up to the cottage and she knocks on the door.
Door opens, and there's this a rather voluptuous, curvy tiefling woman answers the
Mm-hmm.
door. Um, and in traditional sexist D&D style, has the very low cut,
Nice.
low cut,
Oh
whatever it
yeah.
is, stretchy tunic top,
Yep.
and you know, everything's pushed upwards, and she's
She's
like,
got her corset on.
uh-huh,
Yep.
yep, and
Oh
she
yeah.
and she gives you an eye, and she looks you up and down. She's like, hmm, hi, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm Lissa Fernwillow, and I'm looking for gem dust. I heard that maybe you collected some today.
Hmm, um,
She like holds her side like she just ran half a mile.
and she so she puts her she looks at you. She does like a couple times. She looks you up and down, and you're starting to like, even though you're breathing heavy because you're like kind of out of breath, you're like kind of feeling a little bit
Trying
like, hey, like take it easy. like she's kind of starting to feel like she's eyeing you like a piece of meat. She's like, uh, and she takes a deep, like sticks her chest out, big deep breath, and it's like, um, and she puts her hand on your shoulder, and she's like, well, hello, Lissa. Take a minute.
okay, I guess I have a minute. Yeah, sure.
Just take a minute and breathe.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Re-
Breathing.
Relax,
See?
relax for
See?
a
In and
second.
out, in and out.
And then she's like, and come on in.
Okay.
So as you come in, you see there's just like, it's kind of hard to really place all the things that you're seeing because there's like bins filled with like scraps of different things, like wood scraps and metal scraps and stone scraps and all these things. It's just scraps and pieces and scraps and pieces. And then you see a couple work tables, and on the work tables, you see those scraps and pieces getting turned into smaller scraps and pieces and even smaller. And then you see like on another table, there's all these different beads of different colors and designs and styles. And then at the end of that table, you see that there's like some bracelets and some necklaces, and even maybe a few like little rings made out of just like smaller beads and everything. And she's like, yeah, spoiler alert, I likely have some gem dust, yes, since I did just collect it today. Um, but
Oh, good.
I
So
I I oh, please go ahead.
she takes a seat, carefully trying not to knock anything over.
She's like, oh, and as you sit down, she's like, oh, please sit down. She's like, what is it exactly I could do for you?
So I have this bird, a songbird. His name is Bigwing. Because well, we had this accident where there was this harpy, and I was mage breeding, and it didn't quite work out the way that I wanted to. So he got the big wings, but he didn't get the big voice. And so I'm trying to help him out. I'm trying to help him find his voice and maybe with better proportions. So I need this gem dust to help my friend.
She's like twirling some of her hair, her finger as you're talking to her, and she's like kind of like playing with her hair a little bit. And she's doing like the finger point, like tapping the finger on her lips,
So like straightens up, trying to be more composed.
and
She like
and
brushes her hair, pats her hair down.
and she's like, I'm sorry. You humans are just always just so quaint and sometimes just so attractive.
Hmm.
So I can provide you with some gem dust. I will give you two options.
Okay.
Either way is fine, honestly. If you're in a hurry, I understand. Um,
Well, I just wanted to get here before you closed or you went out for dinner or anything like that. So, I've
oh,
got time.
I understand. Okay. So, yeah, so we can we could play a game of dragon chess because
Ooh.
I haven't played in about a week and it's I do enjoy it and I don't often find much competition. Um, and if you win, you can get the gem dust for free.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would charge you 100 gold for a small pouch.
Oh, wow. That's an appropriate price for gem dust. Gems, they're very, very, very um worth a lot. Yes. How about that dragon chess? I've got time for a game.
Oh, by all means. And she's like, come with me. And she goes by so her goal is to kind of make you feel as uncomfortable as possible. Um, but that's not her intention though. Like
Right.
she's because as I understand it, tieflings generally are very like um like hormonally driven, and I'm not trying to make this too weird, but she's so she's like
Right.
she gets up and she sort of pulls your chair out, and then
Mhm.
she kind of she's like she tries to help you. She doesn't help you physically to stand up. She's
Right.
like he's just like, please let me help, get out, step on up and pull your chair out and let's go to I have in the family room in the next room over I've got my dragon chess table set up. We can play.
Excellent. No, that's wonderful.
And she's like right this way after you.
Why, thank you.
And she puts like her hand on like the small of your back and sort of guides you in front of her. And then
Mhm.
and as you walk away as you walk away a little bit like she goes you hear her go, you just hear her go, mm, mm, mm. And as you're walking away,
Melissa's feeling good about herself. She's like, "Oh yeah, I do have a cute butt."
and and and, and and then she's like, okay, it's like now, okay, you said you can, you can pick black or silver, black or silver.
Silver for sure.
Okay, so then she sits on the black side, and you sit on the silver side. So, um, so the So this is a very loose game,
Yeah.
um, where it's like it's really more about how we choose to kind of describe it, right? So the core of the game is we make opposing skill checks.
Hmm.
And the first one to get three successes will
Okay.
win.
All right.
Um,
Nice.
but now the thing about this, the skill checks are not so like we can spice up the skill checks by contesting the number
Hmm.
and making a deception versus insight to
Okay.
see if the number is legit, right?
Okay.
And things of that nature, right? So we can kind of freestyle this out.
Okay.
So she's like, okay, and now like just for the sake of context, like Lissa's played Dragon Chess a few times. So
Oh yeah.
you have a general gist, right? So
Right.
she starts to move, and it's really it's very similar to chess, except for the fact
Okay.
that all the um, little figures are all like
Some type of
different
dragon.
types of dragons, right? So
Nice.
there's like the smaller younger dragons that are all the
Hmm.
pawns, and then there's like a king dragon that's like the ancient dragon, and then there's
Nice.
a queen dragon and stuff. So um,
Nice, nice,
She
nice.
she moves a she moves one of the pawn dragons up. She's like, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Uh, it takes Lissa a minute because she's been staring intently at the board, and then she's like, "Oh, yeah. So I'm a student at Winshire University. I'm studying
Ooh,
mage breeding.
well, that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, Winshire is so cool. It's the best school out there, for sure.
Well, they're so lucky. They're so lucky to have a nice young adventurous student such as yourself.
They are. I'm awesome. I also have some pretty cool friends.
Oh,
They're
that's nice. That's nice.
yeah.
That's great. I'm really glad to hear that. And then you move what do you so she moves the pawn and you
So
move one,
she's
I'm assuming?
so yeah, Alyssa's moving one of her pawns and she's trying I feel like she's the kind of person who would try to learn like the quickest ways to win,
Okay. All right. So
just to
then
be absolutely cutthroat with it.
yeah, yeah. So then why don't you roll a D20
Okay.
and you can choose what skill you think is most appropriate to
Uh
supplement.
I mean I'm gonna go with intelligence this time
Okay.
because she's
All
trying to
right.
remember like the move set, the one
Do
that
it.
will hopefully get her the win. So
Do
that
it.
is a 13.
Okay. Yeah, so she tanks out with a 6.
Okay, nice.
Um so you manage to why don't you roll a D4?
4.
Damn. So you've taken 3 of her pawns and one of her back line, but not
Nice.
the king or queen.
Right. Yep, not quite
Um
done yet.
right. So she's like, ooh, you're pretty good at this. And she kind of like fans her face a little bit. She's like, this game's actually rather exciting. And so then she moves another pawn. So what so are there any is there any significant any are you dating anybody, seeing anyone at school, having any sort of relationship, having any fun?
Uh, dating. No, 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 no dating. I mean, ooh, uh, there's just no time right now. Um, there's too much studying. I've been too focused on schoolwork and stuff like that. I mean, there are there's I mean, there's definitely some cuties that you got. I mean, can't deny that. But I mean, I
So
just
you're gonna roll your next intelligence check with disadvantage because she's rattled you.
absolutely. Oh man, I got two 18s in a row.
No way.
Yes way.
Damn. Okay, so let's see what she gets. Oh no, no freaking way. She got a nat 20.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
So she's like, yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of as you put cuties at school. I believe that to be the case. And then let's see. Then you proceed to lose two of your pawns.
Okay.
As she rolled a nat 20 though, so
Right.
she's gonna take 2 pawns on one of your back line.
Yep. She does
Um,
good.
and she's like, Lissa's your name, right? Lissa?
Yes, yes,
Is that
Lissa.
is that is that short
Lissa.
for anything like
Uh,
Elizabeth or anything?
yeah, Elizabeth, but
Okay.
that's so stuffy.
Okay.
Lissa, it's definitely better.
Well, Elizabeth, I do think that it's really more in how you say the name and how it rolls off the tongue more so than anything else. Would you agree?
Uh, sure. Bruella, was it? How do you roll your name off your tongue?
Just say it as it sounds, my dear. Say it as it sounds. And she's like, and now she's like leaning like into the table, and she's like got her arm like under, right? So she's like
Mhm.
kind of leaning and like leaning in like kind of close as she like moves another pawn. And roll another intelligence check.
Ooh, that one was a 7. Melissa's like, so how do you tell? Like, maybe you've got someone who's kind of oblivious, and I mean, how do you like gauge if someone's interested? Like, listen, yeah, reflecting her
Um,
role. She's thinking about romance now.
she got a she got a s- she got a 6. So like
Oh, okay, that's good.
you each trade off a pawn.
Nice.
She's like, well, my dear, I think I think I think the key is no, I mean you could take the easy way out. You could do magic, that
Yes,
because
I'm
that's
very
always
good at
easy.
that.
That's always
Yep.
the easy way out, right? Um,
Hmm.
I don't know that gives you your truest your truest insight into a person. So I think honesty is very important. I think you should not be afraid to say how you feel. Um, but at the same time, be sure to protect a little bit of yourself too.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
because what if they say no? What if it ruins the friendship? What
well,
if, yeah.
I think I think I think what's important, and she leans across the table and puts her hand on your shoulder
Hmm.
and looks into your eyes, like deeply looks into your eyes, and she says, "What I think is important is that you are just honest, upfront, and you let the person know that however they feel, it's not going to change what you already have."
Okay. All right. That's real nice.
And then she looks at you and she
I
goes, "And
want to make yeah. No, go ahead.
wait, no, no, go ahead. What were you
I
gonna
was
say?"
gonna make a charisma check. I'm trying to distract her.
Oh, okay. So should I make a
Or
charisma save?
maybe
Well, yeah, you do a
I'll do a check.
yes,
Yeah. So
persuasion, roll persuasion.
persuasion. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is a 15.
Okay. All right.
I actually got proficiency in persuasion. That's crazy.
Um, well, that's funny because she also got a 15,
Oh, nice.
and I bet you clean up something fierce. And she just like she moves another pawn. Roll an intelligence check.
6. No, sorry, 8, but not much better.
Oh, shit. I got another net 20.
Man, Ruel is good at this game.
So she's like, and she takes one pawn and two of your back line. So the
Oh,
board's thinning
man.
out a little bit. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I, I don't think you're gonna last much longer.
Time to focus. You're
And
right.
usually my dates last a little longer than this. And 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 she goes and she gets up, and she's like, "I'll be right back." And she comes back and she's got like a very she's got like two glasses with some, and she's like, would you care for some wine before you're beaten in the game?"
As long as it's not onion or shallot, anything but those two.
Like, "Oh, you went to the tavern."
Yes. Yes, I did. That
Mm.
Grobel.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
He was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We had a thing for a little while. Um,
Nice.
yeah. He didn't used to have an accent. Um, and she sips on her wine and she's like, so she and then ooh, yeah, roll an intelligence check.
Okay. Oh, nat 20. Here we
Oh,
go.
Jesus, yeah, she got a 4.
There we go.
Roll two d4 on that one.
4.
Shit. Okay. Total 4.
Total 4.
Okay. Um she's like down to like a queen, a king, and a bishop. Um, and she's like, hmm, like, wow, it doesn't appear to be looking very good for me.
Coming down to the end of this, the fight to
Mm.
the end.
It's been I mean, it's been a lovely time.
It has been.
You've been a great guest. Um, and what's your last roll?
See, oh, 12.
So she rolled an 11.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you're how do you want to describe how you've won the game?
So it looks like she's won. She moves her queen, and it looks like my king might be in checkmate. But I swing out with my other pawn, and it moves right into the right position to put her king into checkmate, and takes out that queen as the pawn goes.
So you knock over the king, and she sighs. She's like, and then you see her. She reaches into her cleavage and she pulls out the pouch of gem dust
Nice.
and she holds it out to you.
I take it.
Okay,
Thank
it's
you.
it's really warm. It's like inhumanly warm.
Oh, jeez. Yep.
Um, and just a touch of moistness to the pouch.
Oh no.
Um, she's
Was
like
it? Yeah.
she's like, pardon me. I'm I'm sorry. Uh, I got a little bit heated. Was I
No,
haven't
no
had
worries. This is
I
it
haven't
was
had this much fun in quite some time.
it was quite a good game. Stimulating game. Yes.
Um,
Intellectually.
like, indeed. And then she walks you out to the door and and he's like, would maybe this is forward, but would you mind a hug?
Of course not. I
You look
mean,
like you look like you look like you could use a hug.
yeah. Yeah,
And
hugs are nice.
she leans in. She goes to give you a hug. And let me think here. What would be in a let's try. Hmm. Yeah, let's do a wisdom saving throw for me.
All right. 16.
Okay. Um, she so her contesting roll is a 17,
Oh, nice.
and she gives you a hug, and like she she puts her hand on the back of your head and like strokes the back of your head a couple times, and she's like, um, and she just goes, "I really hope you find what you're looking for." And and then as you come out of the hug, she she leans in and she gives you a kiss on the cheek, and she was like, "It's been a real pleasure." And you feel your um resolve break down to where a few tears
Oh,
are
yeah,
shed.
her cheeks are glistening. Yep.
um and she's like, and then she's like, I put my if you ever need to get in touch with me, I put my information in your pocket. And it's basically like her smart stone number is in
Nice.
your pocket. And as you walk out, as you go to leave, she pats you on the butt, and as you walk out, and she closes the door. um and So now I'm assuming, heading back
Yep.
to the lab.
Now I'm walking nice and slow and somber
Okay.
and trying to pull it back together before I get back to Uncle Z.
So you come back and you open the lab, you come into the lab, and Uncle Z, like Uncle Z, you see him, he's like passed out in the easy chair. He's like ugh, like just like really awkwardly sleeping in this chair. And as you shut the door, he's jolted awake. He's like, oh man, that was a great power nap. He's like, oh, he's like rubbing like eye boogers out of his eyes, and he looks at you. And he's like, Liz, you all right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm okay. I think I want to cut my hair, Uncle Z. I think it keeps getting in the way. And it's
Okay,
such a pain to take care of.
okay,
I think,
all
yeah.
right, all
Yeah,
right,
yep. Can you help
all
me make
right.
sure it doesn't come out too sloppy?
He's like, yeah, yeah, okay. Uh, where where did you just went to the jeweler's, didn't you?
Well, I had to go to Bruella, and she's just such a sweet
Oh,
lady.
oh, mm,
I got the gem dust though, and I got it for
uh,
free. It came out of her cleavage, but it's fine.
he's he laughs, and he's like, and he comes up, he just walks up to you, and he just gives you a big hug, and you just kind of stand, you're just in the hug for like a minute,
Yep.
not moving, and just taking that hug energy. And
Hmm.
he whispers in your ear, and it's like, I I remember I remember the first time I realized, am I into maybe more than just people of the opposite sex? So I can kind of understand what you got going on a little bit. Like, I
Hmm.
get it. I get it. It's all good. It's all good. Or not. Whatever.
It's yep.
Uh, she's a lot of woman. I
Right.
mean, and she makes it known.
Yes.
I think it's, but I honestly, I think it's a tiefling thing. I don't know. I mean, I read it in books. Those aren't the books. Those are the yeah. Those aren't the books I keep out here, though. Like, yeah, just don't worry about that. Anyway,
Right.
um,
Right. Yeah.
so yeah, why don't we, yeah, let's get that, let's get your
Big
haircut.
wing. Yeah. Haircut first,
Let's
and
see
then
what we
we'll.
can do. Let's see what we
Yeah.
can do.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So what does a Lissa haircut look like?
Going for a bob. So like
Okay,
just below the ears,
okay,
angled up towards the back. Yep.
okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So she gives you like, you get like a vicious, like, you have like this, like, just fierce, like, super angular bob going on. It's like
Yes.
perfectly
Exactly.
straight, because
Yep.
he's like Edward Scissorhands type shit with like these scissors in his hands, because he's already had like three espressos in the time that he's walked you to the to the to the loo, to the bathroom area,
Nice.
right? And he's like,
Right.
he's doing up your hair. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, hell
There
yeah.
we go.
Like,
Fierce.
man, he's like,
Hmm.
yeah, you needed this change.
Yep.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. He's like, but do you want to keep this, what is this? And like holds up part of your hair, and it's like a it's like a braid. It's like on the side of your head with like some beads in it. He's like,
Right.
is this like a is this like a druid hippie braid or some shit? You want to keep this?
Yeah. Sable helped me put that in. I'm keeping that. It looks good there, I think.
Oh,
Stands
okay.
out. Gives my hair
All
some
right.
more texture,
All
you
right.
know?
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and then, but then do a perception check.
Oop, 7.
Um,
She's just admiring her hair. Like, oh
yeah,
yeah, this looks good.
he looks at he's like he's just staring at the braid. He's like, Lissa, Lissa, you there's this really looks really expensive, this really fancy bead on this braid. Is this are you
Oh
your
really?
is your does your hippie friend have like a lot of money or something? Is she a,
Uh, I don't know. We've never talked about it before.
I mean this bead looks like this looks like it was
Maybe
made with like diamond dust or something crazy. This
maybe
is pretty
maybe
sweet.
she picked it up on one of her adventures. I don't know. I'll have to ask.
And then he's like, and then he looks at it and he's like, like, don't think this is weird. And he holds it up and he smells it. And then he's like, nah, nah. It's like this is a Bruella bead.
Oh, oh. Well, I can keep that.
It's like, what did you do over there?
We played chess.
Mm, that's
Yeah,
all you did?
that's it. That's all we did. There
Hmm.
was a hug, but that was,
It's
yeah,
the hug. It's the hug. Every time. It's the damn
nice.
hug. It's the
Yeah,
damn hug. I tell you that
that hug though.
man, Bruella can turn a eunuch. I tell you, she's she's something else. All right, so okay, so anyway, I'm getting distracted. So
Great.
you like your hair? You're good.
I love my
You
hair.
like the color? Color's good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
All
yeah.
right. All right. So what do you? So you got more stuff to get, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for, well, either a firefly or a chip of mica. I
All
think
right.
a,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Let's go here. Come on. And he takes you through. He's like, wait, well, 1 second. He stops at the machine. Stops at the machine. Gets another espresso. And he's like, you want one?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'll take one.
He's like, here you go.
Thanks. Knocks it back.
He's like, you want another one?
No, no, I think one's good enough for me right
You
now.
sure? You sure? Are
Yeah,
you sure? Are
I
you sure? Are
gotta build
you
up
sure?
that
Are
tolerance,
you sure?
Uncle
Are you
Z.
sure? Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
I'm
fine. All
sure.
right, okay, fine. All right, let's go. And so he takes you through behind the machine, and
Mm.
he's like, so come down here this way. This leads to the sewers, but actually there's a cave off to the side. And I know it's the way I know it's wacky, it's some wacky shit, but there's like a little cave down here.
Okay.
Here,
Yeah.
I got some a couple pickaxes that I keep down there, and
Nice.
you can do a little basic mining, and you can get yourself should be able to. I think there's still a small vein of mica in there. You can try to get
Oh,
yourself a chip.
awesome. Yep,
Um,
definitely.
so then you head down, and so you have your and he's like, he's like, I'm just gonna. He's like, I'm not awake yet. I'm gonna get another espresso. So just come up when you're done. Um, so you head down the stairs and you see like one path leads down like a you see it like leads starts to lead down like there's like a it's how do I explain? So it's kind of like you come down the stairs and there's a path leading forward, and you can see it's where like an underground sewer would kind of dead end, right? So it's like you see the start of like a canal of like sewer water right ahead of you, but
Mhm.
then to your almost to your immediate left, you see a little alcove right next to it. And
Okay.
you see a couple little hand pickaxes just kind of leaning up on the ground against the alcove.
Nice. Pick one up.
Okay,
Yep.
and it's super dark in the alcove.
Oh, I cast light.
Okay.
Yep.
So you have a nice bright light under there, and you can see there's like these all these glistening. There's a couple glistening veins of different precious precious gem formations and stuff, and then like you see what you believe
Yep.
to be like where there's mica.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take a swing at
Okay,
that spot.
strength check, please.
All right. My favorite. Okay. 11.
Okay, um, the first time you do it, you stub your thumb.
Oh, ouch. All
Try
right.
again.
Trying again. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. That was a 15.
Okay. You successfully strike, but nothing's come off yet.
Oh, no. Got that -1 on strength. Okay, let's see. What could we do? What could we do? Oh, I've got an idea. Okay. She's
Okay.
going to cast Enlarge on herself.
Okay. All right.
So she can get the plus something to her strength and advantage, I think. Didn't write it down. But
Wait, say that again. She gets what?
I can't remember. Let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
Large D&D.
Out of game note, I was not expecting this to take 2 hours. It's been kind of fun.
Right?
Just saying.
Just got lost in it. Let's see. Yeah, weight is multiplied by 8. I am now a large creature, as long as there's enough room in this cave. If not, I achieve the maximum possible space. And then I have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
All
That's
right.
what it is. All right.
So you are embiggened.
Absolutely.
Do that strength check again.
Oh my gosh. With advantage, I got a 4.
Your pickaxe breaks.
Oh no. There was another one back there, right? Let's see.
There is one more, yes.
All right. This is it. I think I've done everything I can. Oh, wait. Okay, wait a second. I've got this mold earth spell. Will that do anything?
What's the description about the spell?
Let me look it up.
I can look it up. It's fine.
If you target...
I've got it up already. You said mold earth?
Yeah, mold earth. A druid cantrip, I think. Yeah.
If you can target an area of loose earth, you can instantly excavate it. But that's loose.
Right.
Earth.
This is not loose.
Yeah. So you can't. Yeah, that's not going to help you.
All right. What about druid craft? That's just like making flowers, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could just try
effects.
again. You aren't big and you can roll with advantage.
All right, I'm trying again. Let's see.
Might as well.
She gets an 11 with that one.
Okay. You land a hit, but you see that you almost got a piece out.
Almost there.
You're just not quite there.
Can't give up yet.
You think one more time's got to do it.
15.
Got to do it.
15.
And a sliver just flies right off.
Oh, thank goodness. If Skogar had been here, this would have been so much easier.
Right? Right? So you have your mica chip and what are you gonna do now?
I'm gonna walk back to the lab, and as I'm walking in, I'm going to unembiggen. So unenlarge.
Okay.
Drop that spell.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, Uncle Z is Uncle Z's like jogging around the lab, and he's like working on 3 different projects at once, going from one to the other to the other. And he looks at you and he goes, "Hey, heads up!" And he throws you something.
All right, I try to catch it.
And it's another mage breeder sphere.
Oh yes! Oh, this is so cool! Oh, thank you so much, Uncle Z. This is the best. Now I can have more than one monster or animal. Ah, oh, yes.
You gotta breed them all, right?
Exactly.
I've been working on a little bit gotta breed them all. Like I've been working on it. It's a work in progress, but I'm really trying to think of a good tune that goes along with that,
Yeah, theme song. Yeah.
So you got the chip?
I got it. It was a little bugger, but I got it out of there.
So it's getting kind of late.
Yeah. But you just chugged like 4 glasses of coffee.
Yeah. What's your point?
Nothing.
Yeah, I was thinking you want to maybe go camping outside in the woods out back?
Sure. That sounds good.
let's go, come on, let's go. And he takes you outside and like, and he's already got like, he's like, yeah, I had a chance to do this while you were down, chipping the rocks, and you were gone for like 15 minutes. And like, he's got like, there's a fire set up burning, and there's like a nice, there's like this
Nice.
sweet kick-ass like artificer like steampunky glamping tent set up, and like with like some lanterns, like a couple really small lanterns hanging inside the tent.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, let's have a seat, have a seat,
Okay.
let's have a seat, have a seat.
Yeah.
We'll do some shots, we'll have some conversation, it'll be great. And so like
Nice.
sits down, he pulls out that bottle of carafe again, and he pours a couple shots and hands you one. um and and he just starts and then he just starts to talk to you about, tells you stories about, spending time with your mom,
Yeah.
and like,
Lissa shares some stories too from her
he's like,
childhood.
and then he starts to choke up a little bit, and he's like, like this was so unexpected. I can't even imagine how you feel.
Empty.
I can't
I,
even
I
imagine.
feel I feel empty. She was right there. She was right there. And there was nothing I could do. She was already gone when I got there. What was I supposed to do? We were but she wouldn't want me to give up or stop my dream. She wouldn't. She'd want me to keep on going.
She told when you first went to Windshire for this stuff. She sent me a message, and it just said how she was really proud of you. Um, she wasn't really keen on what you were doing, because
Right?
I mean she's been with your dad for decades, and that's, she supported him, and that was her life. And so she felt kind of like that's what she was supposed to do. So she was always torn. She always torn between supporting you and supporting him. But she told me, no matter what, I love her, and if that's what's going to make her happy, then I'm happy. And I don't care, and I don't care what your brother says. I
She was
love
the
him. I love him. I love him till the end of time. But I love my Lissa more.
she was the best mom. I'm really gonna miss her. I mean, how am I supposed to? And then my dad, he's just he play. He was the one who was there. He should be blaming himself for her dying. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, I mean, honestly, no, there's probably nobody at fault. You know,
You're
it's
right.
it's wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. It's just not fair. She didn't do anything wrong. She didn't deserve that. She deserved it.
Well, no, she sure didn't. I can't imagine how he must feel though.
I hope he feels horrible. It's the worst. Terrible. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him, Uncle Z. Hate him.
Listen, I'm sure he pours you another shot. I'm sure I'm sure he feels bad. And unfortunately, he's probably just as mad at you as you are at him. And that may not ever be right. And that may not ever get back to normal, but you got me.
Yeah.
You always got me.
You're right.
And then he hands you an empty jar with a lid on it. And he's like, look out there past the firelight. Look out there. Do a
All
perception
right.
check.
18.
You see fireflies everywhere.
Oh, good. Nice. Beautiful. She's just taking in the view at first. She's like, oh, I should go. Yes. Yeah. All right. I'll be right back, Uncle Z.
He's like, all right, careful. And do a dex check.
Um, oh, okay. 11.
Okay. You trip and fall because you're a little bit more buzzed than you thought you would be because you've been sitting for a while, and you had actually a few shots with your uncle, and his
Yep.
tolerance is ridiculous,
Right.
for everything, and because his body doesn't seem to process stuff like other people's
Mhm.
do, and
Mhm.
he's like, all right, he says, like, you okay? You all right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I just,
Okay.
yep. I'm okay. She gets up,
Um,
dusts herself
you
off.
you do scrape your knee and take 2 damage.
Oof.
You're gonna catch a firefly, so do a dex save.
All right. That one was good. That was a unnatural 20.
All right. So on the first try, you got like you got like half a dozen of those bad boys in there.
Nice.
And he's like, hell yeah, Liz. Way to say ha, way to go. Well done. Man, you're always good at this stuff. You have a way with nature. Are you okay, so I saw the braid thing. Are you split classing? Are you doing like a druid thing too?
Yes, yes, I am. They call it multi-classing at school. It's like a double major. So I'm taking some wizard classes and some druid classes.
He sighs and he shakes his head and he's like, you know, only because I love you, I'll forgive you that it's not art, that it's not, you're not pursuing art, a path of artificer.
Yeah, well, so like, the animals are more concentrating on them, so I think I have to have
I
that
mean,
connection.
I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense from a mage breeding aspect, right? Is that you
Right?
want to be more in tune with the animal if you're going to do wacky shit to them so they don't feel so weird
Exactly.
about it,
Gotta
right?
be humane
Yeah, that
about
makes
it.
sense.
Yep,
One
exactly.
one of these days you're gonna I want to meet that hippie friend of yours. She seems like she might be a decent influence on you.
Ah, Sable is the best. She is
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah. Um, and then so yeah, so he says, like, well, he actually yawns. He's like, it's like a second, and he cuts
Whoa.
himself off, and like he rushes his yawn. He's like, oh, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm tired. He's like, let's crash,
Sounds
and
good.
we can have a kick-ass breakfast, and then and then we'll finish up with Bigwing, and then
Yep.
I get you home. I mean back to school.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh man. Yep.
because this is your home now.
Thanks. And she
All right.
hugs him.
And he hugs you back, and then then you actually both you both you both you both crash in the tent, like
Hmm.
in a bunch of blankets and pillows and stuff, and it's in like a parent and kid
Right.
snuggle way,
Yes.
not like a weird
Exactly.
yeah, not
Not like
it's
Bruella.
yeah, not like Bruello would snuggle. So it's very it's
Yeah.
very loving and parental and he's like, like, sleep tight there, kid. Sleep tight.
Thanks. Love you, Uncle
Um,
Z.
love you too. And so you wake up the next morning. You're in the tent, and you're the only one in the tent. You get up and you look, and the fire is obviously out. It's daylight. Um, no sign of Uncle Z outside anywhere. And
Uh, yeah. I'm gonna head
you
back in.
Yeah, you walk into the lab, and he's like, how'd you sleep?
Great. I slept
It's like,
so good last night.
get yourself some espresso.
Absolutely. Coming right up.
Like, but don't be. He's like, don't be a wimp.
A double.
Do a double or a triple. Come on,
I'll stick with
put
the
it.
double for now. Yeah.
Put it down.
All
And
right, triple. Here we go.
yeah, there you go. So you slam it, and you're like, and like your pupils start to vibrate a little bit, and you're like, I finally can understand. Like, so as that happens to you, then
Mhm.
Uncle Z actually, like, who's been drinking espresso for the last like hour or two, you actually are able to see him at a normal rate of speed because you
Nice.
are now on the same plane that
Same
he is.
wavelength.
Yes.
Nice.
So he's like, hey, Liz, how you doing? Let's sit and have some breakfast. And you sit down and it's all chill and like you eat breakfast.
Right.
He's like, all right. It's like, all right, so let's knock this out. It's
All
like
right.
you got your bag packed, right?
Yep.
Everything's good. All
Oh
right,
yeah.
and so then he's like, watch this. He's like, watch this, check this out. He's like, hey, Bigwing. And you hear and and Bigwing is like slowly like flying like
Hmm.
awkwardly over to you and like lands like on the floor in between you both. And he's like, all right, so you got your feather, you got your gem dust, you got your mica, you got your firefly. So
Yes.
what are you doing?
We are doing the feather, the gem
Okay,
dust, and
okay,
the firefly.
all right. So
Yep.
okay. And he's like, come with me. And he takes you upstairs um to the mezzanine, and he's got Big Wing, and he's holding Big Wing like this, and Big Wing's just kind of chill, like what the hell's even going on? He's just so depressed. He's like, I got
Oh,
big
poor
wings.
big wing.
This sucks. He's like, I can't fly well, and this is
Oh.
awful. And then he takes him over to this table and like puts him like in this cage.
Mhm.
So he's like, all right. He's like, okay, so take those things. He's like, I want you to. It's like, just follow the
Yep.
directions on this page right here. Use these
All right.
components, and go to it.
All
And
right.
so I'm going to need you to roll, pick your pick
Some
your best.
arcana, maybe?
There you go. Roll
Arcana would
Arcana,
be great. Okay, so
and
that's
let's.
a 16.
Okay.
How
I
many?
need you to roll
Three?
3 times.
Okay,
Yep.
a 20 and a 23.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you make all these rolls, all of a sudden, like the cage like lights up with this crazy red light, and then it shifts from red light to green light, and you swear, and you look at these lights, and you see the vision, you see like these little like snapshot visions of all of your experiences that you've had while you've been with your uncle and in this lab, and you see you see Grobel, and he's like handing you wine. It's like, and like you start to see images of things that didn't happen, but it feels like they did. And you see like you and Grobel are like hanging out, and you're like chatting at the bar and talking and having a glass of onion wine and laughing and having a good time. And you're hanging out with Bruella, and she's like giving you a back massage, and it doesn't seem weird. And like and like and like you're and like you're jumping up in the air, and you're like grabbing fireflies with your bare hand, you're throwing them in the jar, and like so you've created this whole different story of what's taken place,
Mhm.
right, in your mind, and you're seeing it unfold before you, and then all the lights, and then just the lights just stop, and then there's a bright white flash, and you get blinded for a second, and then you open your eyes, and you see in front of you Big Wing 2.0,
Nice.
and Bigwing 2.0 now is still a Robin. However,
Okay. Hmm.
however, he's a large Robin.
There we go.
So like a Pidgey almost in right
Yes,
like reference, okay?
exactly.
So
Yep.
like he's got a Robin's body that is appropriately sized to the wings that he has.
So
And
he's
and
still Big Wing. Yeah.
yep, and
He's
he's
got the
and when
body.
he sings, it's like this perfectly tuned, like just perfectly tuned, like ooh.
Ah,
Like
yes.
it's still like a mid range. It's not a high pitch, super high bird pitch. It's like a almost
Hmm.
like a human, like
Like the Little Mermaid,
like
Ariel.
right, yeah, like melody kind of thing going on, right? And
Yep.
and 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 then
Nice.
he Big Wing like flaps his wings, and he starts to hover above the table, and he just shoots off into the air in the lab. He's flying around, zooming like really fast and smooth, and then it looks down at you, and then it goes like this, and it spreads its wings open, and it shoots like three magic. What level are you?
Uh, level 4.
Okay, it shoots like four magic missiles
Nice.
out from its wings
Yep.
that just kind of like hit the ceiling and just go pff, and then it flies back down like by you, and then it goes behind you, and you see this bright light from behind you, and it looks like Big Wing's like a big light bulb, and he's just like getting all bright. It's like he's showing off all the things he can do now, right? And
Yep.
then and then it comes down, and it lands ever so gently on your shoulder,
Hmm.
and he's like, and you hear in your head, "Sup?"
Big Wing. Oh man, this is you. Oh, you look beautiful. You look amazing. You're gonna be
You
incredible.
you did so awesome. This is so freaking cool. I
Good.
cannot. Let's go back to school. Can we go back to school? I want to go back to
Yes,
school. Let's
we're
go back
gonna
to
show
school.
you off to everybody
Yeah, you're
so
damn
they can
right.
see how
You're
awesome
damn
you
right. You're
are.
damn right you are. And they're gonna know you did this.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he says, which you kind of think is maybe just a skosh strange, but then you blow it off, and he goes, and then they can start seeing your true power. And
Yeah.
and he just kind of nods his head like, and Z's like, Liz, you done? You ready? Let's go.
Yeah. This is thank you so much, Uncle Z. This is perfect. This was exactly what I needed.
All right. So he gives you a big hug, and then he
Mhm.
opens up a portal, and all right, you just walk through here. I'll close the portal off. You're good to go. You got my number. You need anything, you give me a holler, okay?
Absolutely.
You take care of yourself.
All right.
And if uh if Bruella reaches out to you, you just
I'll be careful. Don't worry.
yeah, protection, all that stuff. You never,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean like a shield. Like she's a lot. Some of the kids say she's extra. I mean, don't. She's a
Yeah, she
blast.
is.
She's a blast, but she's a lot. And
A lot of
and,
women there.
and
Hmm.
he's like, you ain't lying. And he's like, all right. He's like, and he gives you another hug, and he's like, you take it easy. And
All right.
so you walk through the portal, and the portal closes behind you, and you are back at the you have arrived at the entrance to Windshire University, your your school, your home away from home, and you feel so good, and you feel so at ease, um and so relaxed. And then And then you look around and you notice that every single student and and faculty member, everybody that you see walking, milling about, all have black armbands on their arm.
Oh man. What is
And
that about?
and a couple students, like, they see you and they're like, and one of them goes to say something to you and the other one that grabs him and is like, and shakes their head no, and it's like pulls him away. And they put their head down and they walk away. And it's been, it's been a while, since you've been gone for, how long do you think Lissa's been gone for?
Maybe like 2 weeks, a
Okay.
week and a
Yeah.
half,
So
fortnight.
you've been gone for 2 weeks, and
Hmm.
so you're like, oh, that's kind of weird, the armbands and stuff, and you go and
Right.
you check your mailbox, and there's a letter with university letterhead,
Okay.
and um and you read the letter,
Yes.
uh, and it says Elizabeth Fernwillow, we are so sorry to hear about your loss. If there is anything here that we can do at the university, please do not hesitate to let us know. Please feel free to reach out to our counseling staff, and you will be given you will be given a perfect you will be given perfect grades for this last semester of this year.
Nice.
Please know that we are there for you, and we will do anything that we can to help support you in this sorrow-filled time. And um and it says, you may notice, you may also notice the black armbands, as we are all in solidarity for you during this time of loss. And it's at that point that all of the feelings,
Yep.
all the feelings of elation,
Oh yeah.
everything that you had is
Yep.
all gone.
Disappears.
And you
Melts
and you
away.
and you just start
I'd sit
weep
down on the ground.
sobbing
Yep.
uncontrollably
Yep.
in the middle, and just outside the mailroom,
Right.
sob sobbing
Was
like
totally fine. It was like rolling her eyes at the perfect grades, like, oh, I'll be fine. I don't need that. I'm gonna study anyways. And then she reads that last line and she
like
just,
like heavy body sobbing, like
yep, she gets
losing
it.
it.
Yep.
And all the feels come back, the sad feels, the angry feels, all of it back, because all you
Hmm.
really did was press the pause button when you were hanging out with Uncle Z. and it,
Definitely.
and it was a moment of clarity and serenity. um and Bigwing's on your shoulder, and he's been on his shoulder since you got back. And Bigwing says,
Mm.
you know Liz, it's it's gonna be okay. And if nobody if they don't if anybody doesn't if anybody doesn't like it, then screw them. We don't need them anyway.
You're
And
right.
that's where we're gonna end.
She's just crying. All right. Nice. That was, wow, that went way longer than I thought it
Yeah,
would.
totally. But I think well worth it. Um,
Definitely.
I think we've established established a very interesting turn for Lissa. So you'll have time to think about, like, how you want, time to think about how you want this to be reflected in how she's interacting with everybody else and how you decide you want to manage that. Something you could think about. But what I'm thinking for Bigwing is that he's going to almost be like your dark subconscious mind.
I like it.
Speaking to you, right? So like you might try to think something a little bit more positive or sunshiny, and he's going to be the one that's going to be like,
bring it down.
Like oh no, burn him with fire. Like, it's saying like some crazy shit, every once in a while to kind of make things a little bit more interesting. So hope you enjoyed your Lissa solo story one shot. Not a mini-sode. And
very much so.
Yeah, and
that was awesome. Thanks. Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure.
This was a blast.
Very cool. Awesome.
Right,
have a good night. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. You too.
Yeah. See ya. How will Lissa manage to interact with all of her friends after her mom's death? Will Bigwing be a bad influence? How many more creatures will Lissa end up capturing? Answers to these questions and many more will be found in the next episode of Eberron Adventures. If you would like to support this podcast, please do so by going to patreon.com/Eberron Adventures. And for a mere $3 a month, you can get a shout out. Just like our very first Patreon supporter, Jonathan Boyd. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate the donation and your support. Once again, that is patreon.com/Eberron Adventures. See you next week.